So we just got done with a how to handle puppy training setbacks video, and my buddy Mike's up here, and we're taking his dog over to the pond to introduce her to the pond and introduce her to gunfire and stuff. And he said, well, Stonnie, you know, like, how do I know if I've had a training setback? And I got to thinking to myself, like, it's such a simple question, but hey, that's real important. And so I said, all right, Mike, well, let's look at it from the point of view of with my dog. What would a setback be? A setback would be if I was accomplishing something and then all of a sudden I had trouble accomplishing that same thing. Now, guys, there's a variety of reasons that you'll have trouble. I'll illustrate it with this little puppy right here. It's about 1 o'clock and it's a little over 90 degrees. So training a puppy, a 14-week-old puppy, at 1 o'clock in the afternoon in plus 90-degree heat is a lot different than training a 14-week-old puppy at 8 o'clock in the morning, right? So if I had a training session at 8 o'clock in the morning and the puppy was able to do the whole course with speed and precision, you know, for its age, and then I had that same training session at 1 and it didn't do as good a job, the puppy didn't have a training setback. I had a problem with appropriate goal setting, okay? So when we go over to the farm today, it's going to be this puppy's first time to get in the pond and her first time of being exposed to gunfire. So, like, I don't really have any particular expectations other than I would like for her to, you know, be calm and confident, okay? So I can't even have a setback because I don't have an established baseline. Now let's talk about, like, establishing baselines. Now I'll come out here and I'll get to work in this course, and remember, now this puppy's only 14 weeks old, and so I have to put my body in situations where, like, it makes it very obvious to the puppy that I want it to follow along. But now it's 1 o'clock and it's really hot. So this is a baseline that I'm establishing here for this activity under these environmental conditions. Okay, now I can turn around and do this same thing later tonight when it's a little bit cooler. I would have a different expectation as to the baseline behavior from the puppy. You see how this puppy, this is a real fast moving, field-bred dog, but see how she's kind of going real slow right here? She doesn't have a lot of experience on this course, plus it's hot, she's been playing all morning and stuff. So this right here, what's going on, is perfectly appropriate for this time of day and for her developmental stage and experience level. Now, if I'm doing it in the morning, what I would expect is a little bit more speed and a little bit more effort, but maybe a little bit less precision, okay? When a dog's tired, they're a little bit better at taking their time on the obstacles and placing their feet very carefully. When they have a lot of energy, they're a lot better at moving through the course and moving through the course with a lot of vigor, but they're a lot worse at being able to place their feet in a very precise manner. Up, up. Very nice. So what I do is I think about the dogs and the way they're training. Come on, come on. See, she's kind of starting to slow down here a little bit. So I might have to give her a little extra help. Up, 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 up. Very nice. I think about the dog's training in the context of all the factors involved, the environmental factors, the developmental stage factors, and also, just to be honest with you, you know, how good a job am I doing as a handler? When I get hot, I get tired too, and I get impatient, you know? And so sometimes, like, you got to watch, because you'll be out and you'll be trying to accomplish something when it's real, when the weather's inclement, it's real cold or it's rainy or it's real hot, and you're not doing the best job as a handler. So the easiest way to answer Mike's question about how do I know, like, if I've had a setback, is to journal the results of all your different training exercises. So when I go in and in this dog's little journal, then I'll write down that I got pretty good precision, but not much in the way of speed and vigor, okay? And that's at 1 o'clock, and that pretty much goes with my worldview as it relates to puppies. Now, we're gonna go over to the pond and do some stuff, and when I come back, she's gonna be dead tired. So I probably won't do another session with this puppy until about 9 or 10 o'clock tonight, but she will have been rested, and it'll be cool out. And I'm going to assume that later on tonight, she's going to do the whole course with a lot of speed, maybe not as much precision. So then we'll do that, and then we'll put her up, and we'll get up in the morning, and we'll start again. It'll be real early in the morning, so what should my assumption be? I'm going to get a lot of effort, but I'm going to get a little bit less on the precision. And then we kind of give them a break, and as it starts to get to be midday, we work them some more, and I'll expect more precision, but less effort. Okay, and that's kind of how I go about establishing my baseline expectations, and that way I know if I'm having a setback. So tomorrow, you guys just saw this little dog. tomorrow, if I go to do this course at 1 o'clock in the afternoon, even if it's hot, if all of a sudden she acts like she doesn't know how to get up on the equipment, or she's hesitant about doing something, or she just wants to go lay in the shade or something, I'll have a baseline to compare it to. And I'm not worried if I have one day that's not perfect, okay? But if I have 2, 3 days in a row where, you know, like I've hit a plateau or I seem to be moving backwards, that's when I'm going to start going through that 5-step process that I outlined in the other video about dealing with puppy setbacks. So to deal with the puppy setback, first you have to have clear expectations, you have to have a history of performance, and then you have to have an objective evaluation of, are you doing your part as a handler, and what are the environmental conditions that are related to doing the exercises. And then when you get through all that, you can look at the puppy and see if the puppy's really had a setback or not. Okay, so now we're just gonna go to the pond and have a good time. Okay guys, we're over at the pond, me and my buddy Mike. Oh, Mike's puppy Lucy. We got Charlie with us. We got my dog with us. And what we're doing over here today, we're trying to introduce Lucy to the mud and the muck and the smells around the pond, doing some basic environmental socialization. Try to get her out here in the water a little bit. And then we're gonna go ahead and start to introduce gunfire to her. So earlier, when we first started walking around the edge of the pond, Lucy made it pretty obvious that she wasn't going to get in this craziness. So I put a leash on her, and I'm going to come out here and help her a little bit. And so with the theory being that if she sees Charlie, who's out there running around like crazy, and No Name, and me out here in the pond, she'll want to come too. Now this is what you're going to run into sometimes, guys. You see, like she's decided that she just ain't too sure about that. So what I could do is I can sit down here and coax her. I can go back here, I can kind of show her that I have a food treat, and I can kind of gradually, help her move out in that way. And if I had 6 months, I would do that. But Mike's back here, he's an impatient kind of person. And he's like, Stoney, I want that dog to swim today. So we're just gonna show you the old-fashioned way of doing it. Just like with a kid, you just pick them up and chuck them in the water. So we're just gonna pick Lucy up, chuck her in the water, and start walking. Now, if No Name would get out of the way, dude. Watch out. You can see that she's kind of hesitant here. You've seen that with other puppies before. They get out here, and I've got her right at a neutral buoyancy part, right where she's standing, the water's just barely starting to pick her feet up. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna just steer her out here in the water a little bit, and now she's went to where the water's high enough to make her start floating. And then I'm just going to point her head towards the bank and make her realize if she moves her feet, then she'll go in that direction. So if you're in a hurry with your dog when it comes to your environmental socialization in the water, guys, you can just pick them up, put them in the water, point their head towards the bank, and let them move their feet in such a way that they will end up locomoting towards the bank. Oh, come on. So I'm going to bring her out here. Now she's swimming. Her feet are up off the ground. I'm going to make an arc. Oh, she's swimming perfectly. Point her head towards the bank. And make her realize that there's no need to panic. If she gets in trouble, all she has to do is look somewhere, move her feet, and she'll get there and she'll be out of the deep part of the water. All right, so I'm going to bring her back out here, and you see a little bit of resistance. I'm going to run into that sometimes. A little bit of resistance. I'm going to go ahead and bring her out here. I'm going to overcome that resistance. Now look, she's wanting to get back to the bank. I'm like, nope, not yet. Bring her out here. Oh, there's that feet beating that we get sometimes. Point her head towards the bank and let her go. Of course, Charlie's trying to steal the whole show. All right, gonna walk her out here in the water. Gonna make a big U-turn. Point her head towards the bank. Let her find a safe spot. Very nice. One more time. Now you'll see this little bit of resistance. This is just old-fashioned dog training here, guys, where we say, listen, you got to do things sometimes, whether you think it's a good idea or not. She starts giving me a lot of trouble. I can always just kind of reach down in here, give her a little support. Oh, there you go. Very nice. Point her head, Let her go. Very nice. Now I'm going to walk farther out into the pond. She's got to come. Now look, she's swimming perfectly. I don't know if you guys can see that from where you are. Now you'll notice that sometimes she gets to doing perfectly and one of these other dogs comes along and kind of scares her. Her bullies her a little bit. You know, now they don't mean to be bullying her. They're just bigger and more experienced. I'm sure a lot of you have had that same thing happen, like in pools when you're a little kid. You get in there with the teenagers and they're splashing around, knocking into you, and you think you're going to drown. But after a few trips to the country club or whatever, you start to realize, hey, you know, this is just fun play. I'm not going to drown. So here we go. I'm going to go out and back again. I'm going to force her to go just a little farther than she wants to go. She's going to point her head. She's going to get past those teenagers, get to the back to the bank and be safe. Come on. We go out here a little farther. Now she's swimming very nicely. Oh, now she's sinking. You better swim. Very nice. Good. All right, now you want to keep your repetitions relatively low. Good, we want to end on success. So what I want to get her out here far enough so that she has to swim back with no water beating. This is pretty successful. Right there, very nice. So what I do, I came out. I didn't have a long time because Mike is the impatient type of client. He's like, Stonnie, I want that dog swimming right now. I said, okay. I pick her up, I chuck her out here in the pond, and I stayed with her so that she didn't feel like you know, I was putting her in a situation where she was unsafe. She swam around a little bit, started to get the hang of it. Then these teenager dogs came out and started splashing around, made her a little nervous, but I didn't let that affect us. I stayed out here with her. We got a few more repetitions in, and then I made her end on a nice, calm example of swimming. So I brought her out here, and I said, you can be done as long as on your way back, you keep your feet in the water, and you swim with purpose and determination, and she did it. And so now we're done with this part. We're going to go up here and do a little exploring and a little gunfire introduction. All right, we're going to walk up here a little ways. Mike, you can just station yourself over there. Now, all I need for you to do is to be calm and confident. Your dog could have a whole range of reactions here, from super excited to chill to maybe a little bit afraid. And either way, I just want you to be calm and confident. All right, George, you ready? Yeah. Okay, now I got to get my knucklehead to stay because he's at that stage of life where sometimes he doesn't want to stay. So I'm going to double down. You stay there. All right, now I'm going to cross both fingers. Go, Georgie. And there's our launch. No name. And send my dog. How'd your dog react?
Didn't react at all.
Didn't react at all. I can't hear anything better than that. That's awesome. So No Name's going to go around up there, and I'm going to try my best not to have to help him because I want him to get used to paying attention to what he's doing. And you know, I like a kid that cleans his own room and a dog that finds his own birds. And he lucked right into it, so he's coming back. Everything's good. Very nice, No Name. See if we can get him to come around here into the heel position. Oh! Dang, that's pretty good. All right, good boy. All right, now we'll go get Charlie and we'll do it one more time. You just stay right there. Okay, I went and got Charlie. Now what I'm gonna do with Charlie is I'm gonna have to let Charlie run with this leash because I can't really control him 100% right now. And guys, this is just the truth. If you get one of these dogs that loves to fetch, they're going to have a hard time being still when you first start doing these exercises. So no reason to get frustrated. You just might as well accept it. The idea that you're going to have a hard running, hard charging dog that can just switch that on and off perfectly when they're 6, 7, 8 months old, it's unheard of, you know. So don't stress about it. Just go out and focus on making gradual improvement every week. Okay, I just wanted to be a little bit more calm today than he was yesterday, and that's all I can hope for. And I realize I've set realistic goals for him. I cannot get him to sit here perfectly without this leash on him. So I'm going to hold this leash. If he goes to break, I'm just going to reset him, make him be calm and patient. I have a number in my head, then I'll release him. And over the course of time, he will start to realize that being calm, attentive, and polite is what leads to getting to do what he wants to do. So I'm going to throw my leash over to the side. I'm going to hold it. Okay, Georgie. Now, there goes my dummy, Charlie. And And I went ahead and let Charlie go a little bit early because I wanted him to see it hop up off the ground. That made that run a lot easier on him. So he was able to run out in a straight line and come back in a straight line. See if I can get him in the heel position. Oh, very nice. Now notice I didn't ask him to get into the heel position and get in a perfect sit, okay? My dog's a little bit farther along. I expect a little bit more out of him. I was just perfectly happy that he ran a straight line, came back in a straight line, and moved over here generally into this area. Okay guys, see y'all later.